Hey you! Dior holiday has arrived, and for today's video, I'm going to share with you the Écrin Couture eyeshadow palette. This is the 5 eyeshadow palette. This is the smaller of the two. Now, I loved last year's, both of them. The big one, the little one. So I'm just really excited to get into this and see what it's all about. So I'm going to share details, swatches. We are also going to compare it to last year's because I'm curious too and we need to know, and I hit this one quite hard. So, shall we? So the full name of this eyeshadow palette is the Écrin Couture Iconic Eyeshadow Makeup. I'm just reading what it says. So this contains 5 eyeshadows, and it does come with a little applicator. It's like a fluffy brush on one end and then a sponge applicator on the other. Now Dior describes this color story in this 5 shade eyeshadow palette as glittery gold, satin reds, and velvety browns. And I think that describes it quite well as far as the color story. Let's get into packaging because I really like this year's packaging. So this is the actual packaging, the box that the product comes in. These make beautiful gifts. You literally don't even have to wrap them because they're just so gorgeous. You can wrap it in a bow. You can go to the counter and get like a little extra ribbon from Dior and like, you know, tie it and make it pretty yourself without even having to wrap it. So I really like the packaging. You have more details here on the back and then also underneath where you can lift and see like ingredients and, you know, all the things. Super tiny. You're gonna have to get your magnifying glass out, but it's down there. So that's packaging for the back. Now here is the actual palette. I love how compact and neat this is. It is a little thick, okay? It is a little thick, but not bad at all. I have seen people take out this part and use it as like a card holder. You can put some cash in there and some loose change, and it goes in the purse quite nicely because it is nice quality. But I like keeping my eyeshadows in there. Now it does come with a very nice quality mirror, and you can turn the palette over completely like this, you know, lean it on your vanity and it'll, you know, have your shadows for you when you want to put on your makeup. I think it's a very pretty color story. My experience with last year's was so fantastic. So I'm really excited about this. So shall we swatch? We need to know, we need to see. All right, they feel nice and creamy. Dior shadows are usually quite consistent with their formulation. So these seem to be, ooh, wow, look how creamy, super creamy. You saw how they just swatched and glided. Ooh, I got one more. I got one more shade, hang on. Dark shade right there. Look how nice. Ooh, this is beautiful. Beautiful color story. Oh, I'm so excited with that color story. All right, let's create a couple of looks. All right, just started to pour, but that's all right. It's been super rainy here, so if you hear anything in the background, that's what it is. So I have a fluffy brush here. This is an Esum G34. I'm gonna pick up this shade here. Ooh, these shades are soft and powdery, so I am getting a little bit of kick up, but it's powder. It's kind of to be expected. So let's just blend this in the crease. And this fluffy brush is going to allow me to have a nice diffused deposit of color. So I'm just building that up on the outer eye and continuing to blend in the crease, and it is doing so quite nicely. And I like that this is a soft color. So with that said, our first look is going to be something soft and pretty. And then, of course, we'll do something a little bit more dramatic. Yes. So I'm going in, picking up a little bit more product, continuing to blend and build, and it is doing so quite nicely. Yes? You're checking up on me? Okay, thank you. That's my little peanut. She's checking on her mom. I really think it's because of the rain. She gets a little, you know, Mommy, where are you? I want to do soft and pretty, but I'm just going to let my brush guide me. I'm not going to be too, you know. Oh, let's see. Let's go into this lightest shade here. I'm going to put that on the beginning portion of the lid, like that. I'm going to just clean off the brush really quick. And then I want to go into this kind of bronzy shade and put that on the rest of the lid. Okay. And then I have a doggy. He's a rescue. So he has some issues whenever it rains. So he's going to start crying in the background. There's quite a lot going on. But I usually can edit it out, and a lot of times I can't. So if I can tell you and give you a heads up, there it is. All right, so I'm just going back into that blending brush. There's no product, and I'm just going to blend. Those went on the lid so nicely, look. Apply and blend so nicely. And that is a nice and soft look. I think we're starting off well, yeah? I don't have any fallout. Shadows just blended and applied really well. Now here is a little look-see at the palette. A lot of kick up in there, but it's not bad because these are soft and they're just very finely milled powders and they just blend on the eyes like butter. So, but if you're curious, that's what we're looking like so far. All right, I'm gonna put a little mascara, and our first look, our soft and pretty look, is done. Very nice. Yes. This is such a soft and wearable look. I love it. This color story definitely gives that vibe, but I like that we can kind of amp it up a little bit. So let's do that in this next look. I'm going to start off with that same shade that we used on the other eye. I'm going to use this as our first transitional color. I like doing this whenever I have more dramatic looks to kind of create a soft gradient, you know? So it's just a soft wash of color to start things off. I'm going to go into the darkest shade here. That's nice. I'm tapping that off because I don't want it too intense. I want to be able to build it up at my rate, my speed. Because I don't want to go in too much at first and have to be here blending forever. So if you go in a little more controlled, yeah, you see that? Oh, that's so nice. Okay. That is blending a lot better and quicker than I expected. I thought I was gonna have to go in a little bit more, but no. Look at her. All right. For the lid shade, I'm going into this one right here. This one, it's this one, right? Kind of, it's like a pinky red burgundy kind of tone. It looks so pretty. I want to try that on the lid. Yeah. I am just going to build that up. And it went on the lid so nicely, smoothly. I mean, how quick have I just created two looks? I'm just gonna go with that fluffy brush, no product, just to blend and make it super pretty. And that's pretty much it for our second look. I can't believe how fast I'm creating. I mean, I can, because it's Dior, their quality is great, I have to say. I put some mascara really quick. Another very wearable look. It's a little bit more intense, it's a little more bold, but it's still super wearable. And just look how nicely it has applied on the lid. So effortless, you know? I really like that. So, here are our first two looks. Okay. So I've just been applying my Dior concealer and then setting it with my Westman Atelier Pink Bubble powder. That's what I'm using as primer today. Let's create another look. So I have been having a moment with smoky looks. And I really feel like I can create one with this. So let's go into this darkest shade here. I'm going to start with that. I am just going to blend this pretty much all over the lid, okay? It's going to seem a little messy at first, but that's intentional. And I'm not going to blow it out too much. I want to keep it, you know, as wearable as possible. This is what I have found it. This is what I have found to be like a more wearable smoky look. I kind of feel like when you make the smoky eye like too blown out, it doesn't feel as wearable. That's what I think. But yeah. So I'm just keeping it on the lid, and then I'll open my eyes and look forward to see, you know, that I'm not going too high. So, and I'm using a fluffy brush, so it's going to give a little bit more of a diffused effect versus if I was using like a flat packer brush. And I'm intentionally leaving the inner portion of the eye because I want to put another shade there. I'm just building that up a bit. I really like how this shade, it goes on and it's not, I really like how this shade applies and blends very, very nicely. And no fallout. That is a beautiful thing. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm staying in the crease. I'm not going above it. Because again, I don't want to make it too intense of a smoky eye. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to go now in with a clean brush and stay right in the crease and just blend it to make it even more soft and diffused. And that shade does that quite nicely. Would you agree? Look at that. It's a beautiful finish. It's not like completely black either. It's like a brown black. I am going to go into that bronzy shade. This is actually a Dior number 23 brush. And I'm just going to apply that on the beginning portion of the lid. Right on the beginning portion. And then now I'm going to go back into the brush that we used to apply that shade and just blend. I'm going to pat where the two colors meet so it's nice and diffused and blended. And I have a nice little eyelash. I'm quite content with that as my more wearable, softer, smoky eye. And it wasn't like a big deal to create. Totally smoke out the lower lash line. It looks so good. Or you can leave it like this. Looks fine too. Gotta get the hair in there so like get the little effect. So here is our third look. It's a little bit more dramatique, a little bit more sultry, smoky. I just love the way these shadows apply and blend on the lid. They look really good. I'm going to go into this shade. I'm going to do like the complete opposite. All right. This one's super dramatic. This one I'm going to just do like a very easy wash of color. You know those days where you don't want to do the most, but you want to do a little something and feel good about it. So I'm just going in with that shade here. I'm just using that fluffy brush to put that soft wash of color all over the lid. Taking my time and building it up, and that's nice when you use like a more fluffy brush. You can just take your time and build it up to your desired intensity. And then let's go in with this lightest shade here. I'm going to use a pencil brush. This is a rougher number 3. And do a little something on the inner and a little, just a little on the inner corner. Do you see how soft and pretty and easy, but still glamorous and put together? Love that. And I mean, Two totally opposite looks from the same palette. I love it. I really do. So here is our fourth look. Yeah. This is definitely like a go-to, grab the palette, wash a color. Yeah. So effortless. Just blended on the lid really, really nicely. Yes. Now, I just want to let the brush guide. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I want to do something with a lot of the colors. Obviously, this color is becoming, you know, a favorite. Start off with this color, and then let's see where we end up. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it'll be dramatic. Maybe it won't. But what I will say, thus far, I am quite happy with the performance of every single shadow. I haven't had any fallout. They have blended so nicely. They built up really nicely, and they feel great. They're smooth, they're buttery, they're pigmented. I mean, what more could we ask for, right? This is definitely one of those palettes that you can travel with for the holiday. You know, whatever you may have going on, this is going to be one of those palettes you're going to want to take with you. Definitely. I know I will. Let's go into this shade. I'll put that all over my lid. I don't know how I feel about red eyeshadow. I don't know how that's gonna look on me. But it's not really red. It's like a pinky burgundy-ish kind of red. It's a nice color. Yeah, I think so. Let's go in with the lightest shade here. I'm gonna use that as my inner corner highlight. It wouldn't be a Mo makeup, Mo beauty video by yours truly, Miss Monique, if I didn't do what I always love to do with these shadows. I'm going to take the darkest and I'm going to make a wing. I have this little brush here, in particular number 7 from Wayne Goss. And let's get close. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to zoom in. I'm going to pick up the darkest shade with that. A soft little wing. I always find wing with eyeshadow to be just a lot more forgiving, easier overall, you know? Staying super close to the lash line. So we've got a nice soft, super soft wing going on. I want to take this down to the lower lash line, so I'm still going to use that same brush with the darkest color and go down on the lower lash line. And then connect right out there. I'm staying super close, and then I'm connecting. I am taking the pencil brush and I'm going into the bronzy shade. We haven't used that one yet. And I'm going to use that to kind of smudge it a little. I'm going to apply my eye kajal from Chantecaille in my waterline. Let's do some mascara. My wings are not completely even, but here's our 5th and final look. See, I'm not too concerned about them not being even because using the powders, it's just so much more forgiving, you know? You would notice it if you were like this close to me. The shadow quality is outstanding. Blended beautifully, super creamy, pigmented, all the things you are looking for in an eyeshadow. The formula is great. Dior did that, yes. They are a little powdery, okay? So you are going to get a little bit of kick up with them, but every single shade, the quality was the same across the board. There was no, like, one is chunky, one is this, one, no. Every single one of the shades was creamy and pretty and nice. Yes. Look at that. I knew, like I know, swatching really just kind of gives you a taste of what to expect, but I knew by swatching how just creamy they were gliding that these were going to be good and definitely performed as such. Let me know which look was your favorite. Comment down below. All right, let's quickly compare last year's. Now, let me forewarn you, I went in I use this so much. I did get a few questions asking which one I used more, if I used this one or if I used the big one, the one with the quint, the lipsticks, the blush, the highlight. I use this one more. That one, the bigger one I still use. It's super travel friendly. Literally all you need is in that palette, including the lip products. The only thing I didn't love about it was the fact that the lip products didn't like have a cover. So your shadows, you know, they kind of went in there and it was a pain. So that is a reason behind why I didn't pick up this year's variation of that. But I loved the smaller one so much that I had to get the new one. Now, this one's packaging, it's like velvet. So a lot of the shadows like stick to it, but it's nice. Here's a little refresh on the packaging. Super nice. But as you can see, I mean, I do try to like get the shadow off. I mean, it's a lot better, but yeah. Okay. This too has a nice mirror. Again, it's very messy. Here is, and here's what it looks like. Yes, she's very well loved. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, quickly side by side of the two so that you can see color stories. So this is last year's and this is this year's. So this is this year's and this is last year's. I admit and I agree. It's similar. The color story is similar, but there are clear differences. Finishes, undertones, colors, overall, yes. You have a gold, you have a silver. You have the brown, a rich reddish brown. Now that I look at the two darker shades, this one's definitely more brown than this. Although when I blended this too is a brown black. This is a brown black too, but a lighter version of it. This is the equivalent of what this is. But this one is more of a brown undertone. So here's the thing, if you have last year's and you love last year's, keep using it. It's fine, it's beautiful. It's a very practical color story, as is this. Do you need the two? Do you need them both? No, not at all. You're definitely getting different color stories, but that's just me. That's what I think. But the good thing is, I used the heck out of this. So I'm glad that I got this because I know I'm going to use this. This has got a beautiful color story to it. And I really enjoyed the formula and the performance. Very happy that I have both, I admit. Very practical color stories, very wearable color stories, performance of both. A+. Yes. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. As always, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Please don't forget to give today's video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And also, check out my other Dior videos. I have a Dior playlist. I recently did the Blooming Boudoir collection. I did the Silver Essentials collection. And it's Dior holiday season. Stay beautiful, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.